Hi everyone, this is Albert Yonathan, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the process of making transitory nature of earthly joy. So the process began in 2016 during the residency in Canberra, Australia. So I was thinking at that time about using clay as a metaphor of a human body, and also about the idea of impermanence. Most importantly, about impermanence, because I sort of arrived at the idea that in ceramic, a lot of ceramists are actually pursuing these notions of permanence in their art making, in their practice, because there seems to be a tendency to preserve the physical characteristic of clay or ceramics, or all the textures, the colors, and the shapes. So this has been part of the struggle, I think, for many ceramics to achieve the best, say for example, glazes or textures or color, or the best basically clay bodies. So, and all of those things wouldn't happen without firing process. So I was thinking at the time, so maybe what would happen if I take the final process, which is the firing process, and just leave the clay unfired and dry and unfired, and actually flip the process by destroying the shape, by dissolving the shapes in water. So I realized that by doing that, the process itself, it's already it's quite common. It's like people see this quite often: clay, dry clay, and put into water, and they will dissolve gradually, and then eventually the shapes will be destroyed. But I wanted to do it in a methodical way, so that the process itself may be common for people, but I wanted to do it in a way that would invoke a certain kind of meditative qualities or contemplative qualities in it. So, and also I was thinking about still life paintings, where like artists usually likes to paint vessels, where vessels or pottery usually is one of the objects there in still life paintings. And looking at these paintings, they sort of stand there as metaphor of individuals, like human figures, like all these different objects that appears in still life seems to be resemble a human being, seems to be a metaphor of organic entities or something. And then so I did this performance first, and during the residency, and they were all handmade, all the pots, and I put them in a container, and then I thought, like, I thought I would pour. The best way to dissolve this shape methodically is to pour water from the inside instead from the outside, because I think from the inside you get a slower process, and also possibly a little bit more theatrical or dramatic in a way, how the shape eventually destroy. And then, so as you can see in the video, they hold the shapes for a while, they hold the water for a while before they finally leaking out the water out, filling the container, and then the pots dissolve into water. So I kind of like this process because they reminded us of time also, like the slow process of time, how things are changing, and like how things in nature are. It's sort of like watching leaves grow. You don't notice it if you. Sometimes we don't see it as clearly. We don't notice it unless you watch it on the video screen, or like you watch it like intensively over time. You begin to see that the leaves are getting bigger, and new leaves coming out. So this really slow process of nature is actually quite natural. It happens in our surrounding. So I wanted to kind of represent or in a way capture that process in this performance and present it to the audience. And before this performance, I actually recorded one video, which was the initial idea of transitory nature of earthly joy. And I thought maybe I could just, instead of doing a performance like this, I could also do a video of the pot, of the object itself. This is basically the same like what you see in the video installations, unless that they have different tones, different colors. So after I finished this work, I came back to Japan, and I thought maybe this is an interesting idea and I wanted to explore a little bit more. And so I thought, okay, maybe let's make some more pots, some more vessels, and let's do a proper one this time. So I did it in the studio, in my own studio, and I tried to arrange everything so that when I record the vessels, they would look like black and white old photographs in a way. So what I like about exposing this process, instead of the difference between the performance and the video performance and this single video, is that there are times when the pot breaks. It's quite dramatic, but once they are dissolving, it is actually really, really slow. And so sometimes people who only glance at the videos, they don't really stay and watch for a couple of minutes. They won't notice that there's anything going on in the video, because there's almost like it's just still images. But over time you can see that the parts of the bodies, for parts of the clay bodies, began to dissolve into water, and then gradually over time, very slowly, the shape is disappearing. And during the editing, I was thinking maybe I could flip the process, because so that you get the shape dissolving, and then you also get the shape coming back into its initial form. So it creates a loop, a time loop, where the beginning is the end is the beginning. So you get like these complete cycles of the forming and unforming of the shape. And in a way, in that process also, it materialized the shape, because the vessels don't exist anymore. All the vessels, they're all gone, which is completely the opposite of ceramics. The idea of ceramics making is actually to preserve the shape. Now the shape is gone, but the shape is actually preserved in the form of a digital documentation. So it's being materialized in digital data, in images, in moving images. So that's basically the idea about transitory natures of earthly joy. It's a form of meditations also for me to look at clay as a kind of a remembrance of our existence, I guess. Our bodies basically also going through the same process. The cells in our body are dying and generating new cells at the same time, every day, every minute. So this video, this work was made to reflect on that idea, to represent that idea. I hope the audience can get that by through these video installations, and also hopefully people are patient enough to watch the videos, because the interesting thing about this installation is that they began at the same time, but then because each vessels dissolve at a different speed and time, they eventually create this kind of, you know, almost random compositions where one is already going back into its initial form, and then the rest is kind of like still in the process of dissolving, and then every time, each time you look at the videos, they will you will see a different compositions of the vessels being dissolved into water. So hopefully it's hopefully the audience can get the idea. Thank you very much for watching. That's all from me.